So I'm actually here representing Dropbox because the gentleman who was supposed to deliver this presentation couldn't make it, unfortunately. So I will do my best to present this the right way. And I also had a demo for you guys, but I'm not going to be able to do it because there's something wrong with the AV system and my laptop. So if anybody wants to see a demo later, you can find me. We're at the Rivet Logic booth. I'd be happy to show you the demo. What we're going to be talking about today here is just kind of walk you through Dropbox's experience with us, Rivet Logic, to implement their global partner network portal, and talk about some of the challenges that they faced, why they selected us, why they selected Liferay DXP for the solution, and also give you a little bit of kind of a walkthrough of the features of that portal, what is making it a very successful portal for them, and what the future holds for this portal within Dropbox. Right, so just very quickly a little bit about us. We are a Liferay Platinum partner. We've been a partner of Liferay's since 2006 and have a lot of experience building solutions on this platform. We've seen it grow and evolve over the years, and it was very well aligned with our main goal in life, which is really to build digital experiences that really are tailored to our customers, that match exactly what they want out of their digital footprint, and also to be modern and scalable, maintainable. So we have customers that have been using Liferay for 6 years plus, multiple upgrades, and really leveraging the power of this platform. So these are some of the kind of use cases that we deliver for our customers. Dropbox, anybody not know who Dropbox is here? Okay. But some information you might not know. So they were founded in 2007, and it's not that long of a period. And really, the main thing they were delivering is to give everybody a simple way to manage and share files, right, of all kinds, easily and intuitively, right? So to date, they have over 500 million users. They have over 300,000 teams using Dropbox Business. So if you didn't know this, Dropbox has a business offering that's different from the one you might be using today. And they are actively being used in over 180 countries and territories. So this is a large footprint. They're a global company. And as you can imagine, they have a partner ecosystem, a global partner network, and it's growing very rapidly. So in order for them to have a meaningful, robust channel program within Dropbox, they needed a way to streamline all of the processes around partner management, right? And the problem was that they did this, but they did not have a centralized solution, right? So if you go around the Dropbox locations around the world, they're managing the partners in different ways. They have over 7,000 partners, right? So it got to become a really painful process for them because not just the fact that they have a lot of partners, but the number of partners was growing very rapidly. So when a new partner comes in and they say, okay, how do I register a new lead, right? I'm a reseller, I want to register a new lead. Depending on who they were talking to, they got a different answer, right? So that caused confusion, especially if you are a global reseller and dealing with different channel representatives. It became pretty difficult. And also, a lot of the processes they had were manual. So they did utilize a portal, which was kind of only there for you to register a lead. So it was just a form, you fill it out. Everything else was manual after that. So deal registration was hectic. The other problem was support, right? So anybody who's ever worked with Liferay, for example, you guys pay Liferay to get that awesome support, right? That you rely on to be able to open tickets and to get the help that you need. Partners have to go through the same thing, right? We need to be able to open support tickets with, in this case, Dropbox, and be able to get traction on these tickets quickly. So because of the fact that they had all these different tools that they were using, the turnaround time for support tickets was pretty high, and partners didn't really like that at all. And then the one piece that was really kind of missing is sales enablement and being able to provide marketing funds for their resellers to be able to sell their Dropbox better than they did, and to be able to track that, to have some analytics around that so that they can know which partners are doing well, which partners are not doing so well. But again, they didn't have one way and one tool to do that. So they set out to basically try to get a portal built, right? A partner portal built. And their requirements were that they wanted to have flexibility. That was very, very important, very key. And the reason for that is because when they looked back at the past 5 years, they saw that the way the channel program worked changed almost on an annual basis, right? So they knew that if we want one tool that's going to help us manage all of this, it has to be flexible enough so that we can make changes to it and customize it so that we can change the way we run our global partner network over time. The other thing that was very important for them was to streamline all of these back office processes, right? The lead registration, tracking the leads, the support tickets, all the things I talked about. They wanted it to be a streamlined and automated process so that anybody who joins that team, a new hire, doesn't need to go through too much training. It's very easy, very straightforward, intuitive to manage all of your partners that you're responsible for. And lastly, but not least, is self-service, right? So for you to have a successful partner portal, you need to allow the partners to serve themselves as much as humanly possible, right? So from a continuous improvement perspective, that was one of the kind of the pillars that they had within the channel team, to make sure that as much as possible, allow my partners to get what they want without having to talk to us at all. So that made it was even like more reason, I should say, for them to want to have self-service capability within the portal, and to have a portal that allows you to add training modules, training content, and all kinds of documentation that can help their partners be self-sufficient. So interestingly, even though they wanted all of these things, they went out there looking for SaaS solutions. And we all know that SaaS solutions will not give you the flexibility that you really want. They basically market themselves in such a way, saying, "Look, we are the experts. We have built this partner portal solution for all these companies. We know, we know channel more than you do." That's kind of the message, right? So we're going to show you how to do this right, do it our way, and you'll be happy, right? And then over and above that, they say, and if you want to customize something, we're going to give you some leeway to customize, but it's mostly just putting your logo on there and changing the look and feel potentially, right? But not really anything more significant than that. So when they went out there and they looked, at all these solutions, we were brought in to represent Liferay. One of the most important kind of revelations they had was that we should not go with SaaS or COTS types of solutions, because in the long run, it's not going to work, right? So that was an easy decision for them to make. And they knew that they want a custom, a platform that they can build a custom solution on, but they don't want to build it from scratch either, right? Because that was another consideration. When people say buy versus build, nobody talks about the in-between, right? Which is what Liferay really helps us do, right? Which is you're getting a platform, you're getting so much functionality out of the box, but then you still have the ability to customize it and tailor it to your needs, and then get all of the reap the benefits of Liferay as a product and all the upgrades that you're going to get over time and all the new features and enhancements that you'll get over time to make your portal better and have a really robust technology roadmap. So we were able to convince them that Liferay addresses all their needs, right? And that was really a key to the success of the solution, was that we were using a platform like Liferay and to be able to kind of show them the entire picture of what it's going to look like, how it's going to behave before we wrote a single line of code. And as you can imagine, I mean, these are it's a San Francisco-based company. They are in this area. They care a lot about the user experience. They're very visual people. They had their own internal UX department. And those guys came to us and said, well, we want this to look a certain way. We want it to behave a certain way. But we don't know anything about Liferay. We don't know the technology that this is going to be built in. So can you guys help us with that? And luckily, we do have a UX department that really was a great fit for them. So what we did is our UX team worked with their UX team collaboratively to kind of bridge that gap where they understand what they want very well from a user experience perspective. We understand user experience as well, but we also know the technology stack. We know what you can do with Liferay. We know what are the features that you can bring up into that design to make it better than maybe things that their designers came up with, right? So their designers don't know, for example, that you have something called audience targeting in Liferay. But when they know that, and working collaboratively with us, we came up with the best possible experience for this portal. So essentially, after we built this portal for them, I'm talking about the UX first. So when we went through that process with them, and it was a separate phase, we typically do it that way. We do the UI UX phase first, and then we do the implementation second. They were able to reap all these benefits. So number one, they were able to maximize on the out-of-the-box features of Liferay DXP, right? Instead of having somebody design in a vacuum and then hand those wireframes over to a company like us, and our job is just to build it. So we'll build it, right? If this is what you want, we'll build it for you. But maybe there are some things, if you change it around a little bit, then you'll be able to use Liferay's out-of-the-box feature and not spend any money building this feature, right? And it's going to get better over time. So that was huge. The other one is the scalability of the designs. And what we mean by that is that when we do designs on Liferay, we're not just doing it based on today's features, right? We also have an understanding, and we keep a very close watch on Liferay's roadmap, right? What's coming in the future. So that way, the designs are not going to prevent you, the Dropbox in this case, from adding a new feature down the road to your portal that maybe is going to be conflicting with Liferay's technology roadmap somehow, right? And we also eliminate the rework on the design side. So I'm sure a lot of you have run into this before, where a design firm or a design UX team or UI UX team is designing in a vacuum, and they're saying, I don't care what you're going to build this on, right? The technology meets the design. A lot of, that's not necessarily wrong, but if you're going to build it on Liferay, that has some implications that are pretty significant. For example, one button in a wireframe could be 2 months of development work, whereas if that button had a different label, it would be 0 days of work because it's a feature that exists in Liferay, right? So eliminating the rework was very, very important for them, and it helped us have a smooth implementation project. And also, I mean, everything else down here is just the benefits of doing that, right? So faster time to market. You're not doing a lot of those iterations with the client, going back to approved wireframes and asking them to reapprove changes to those already approved wireframes. That irritates a lot of people, you know, for good reason. And but most importantly, I'd like to underline the last bullet here: smooth upgrades. And that is important because in Liferay, you can build your solution 10 different ways. You can satisfy any requirement set that you get as an implementer 10 different ways, right? Not exactly 10, right? But you know what I mean. So when we implement solutions, companies like Rivet Logic, we're not the only ones who do this, but any competent implementer will ensure that anything that is being developed is going to be upgradable, or there's going to be a clear path to the upgrade, right? So it's important to know what is coming. It's important to know, for instance, if a feature is going to come 6 months down the road, and Dropbox is saying, I want this feature, we would tell them, just try to live without it for 6 months, okay? I know that is counterintuitive for a company like us, but that is the right decision to make always, right? And also, having existing functionality that will be upgradable when it gets enhanced, because that is what you expect from an upgrade. Also, a lot of companies don't have the luxury of upgrading every single time a new version comes out. You want to be able to skip versions unless you have a DevOps mentality, a DevOps culture, and you have the appetite and the ability to, deploy always and deploy often. If you're not like that, then you want to be able to skip versions, right? And if you're going to skip versions, then you need to make sure that you're doing this the right way, because you typically, when a customer will come to us and say, I want to implement this new, I want to upgrade Liferay. The reason is typically either, like I know a lot of people are trying to move over to DXP right now because of the support, but usually that is not the compelling event that happens. Usually it's a feature, right? Something that is in the latest and greatest version, and you want that feature, and then that justifies the upgrade. So that is, you have to be able to make those kinds of decisions. And that's why I wanted to just spend a little more time talking about this bullet here. So here's just a small screenshot of the portal. I'm not going to be able to give a demo of this portal. But the features that made this a successful portal for Dropbox is that it allowed for a centralized access. They are a global company, remember? And I have a diagram that's going to show you kind of the deployment architecture footprint here, because this is a globally distributed solution to make sure that partners in other countries or other regions can have the same exact experience that we have here in the United States when they are registering deals and so on. And this is a highly used portal. I should mention that as well. Because every single stage within the sales or the pre-sale cycle for those resellers, they have to constantly keep coming back to this portal and updating it. Otherwise, they don't get all of the brownie points from the Dropbox channel team and the structure they have in place. Also, a major advantage was that they can now have, within one partner, they can have multiple roles, which is something that Liferay supports out of the box. And we just had incorporated into the implementation so that they can allow and delegate some of the back office work over to the partners. So as much as possible, it's always good to do that, because that is what helps you scale. Think of a process, any process, and you are Dropbox and you have 7,000 partners going through that process. If you, when you're designing that process, have one of these steps, say it has to come back to Dropbox and we have to do that, otherwise everything freezes, then now you have become a bottleneck right away, right? So as much as humanly possible, allowing the partners to go through that process in an automated way is the only way to scale this thing as much as needed, right? So That's why, again, the self-service thing is very important. And obviously, we have a lot of back-end integrations. We're integrated with Dropbox services so that they can browse, the documents within the portal that are coming through Dropbox. And also on the CRM side, we are integrated with their CRM system, and I have a slide to show that as well. So these are a couple examples of self-service capabilities. So the one on the left is, basically you can request support from the channel team. The one on the right is how you register your deal. The one thing we learned is that the simpler, the better, right? Because people don't like complicated interfaces. So it has to be very simple, very easy to understand. We don't have to go through trainings and stuff like that with the partners to get them to know how to use this. And what you don't see here is that there is a lot of workflows in the back end that get kicked off, so that you can't just go and register as a partner. There's a vetting process almost that you have to go through. All of that is automated in this portal. And also, definitely on the deal registration, you have to make sure that nobody already registered this deal. Sometimes you have deals that are so big they have multiple partners involved within one deal, and there's business logic in the back end to deal with those types of fringe situations. So making that was a very, very important part of this project, which was to cover all of the possible fringe cases that could ever potentially happen, right? So that was very, very useful to them. So at the end of this project, we really ended up with great success. And sadly, Dropbox is not here to tell you this, and you get it from the horse's mouth, so you're just going to have to believe me. So just going back to the main success criteria here was streamlining the partner management process. That's huge. That really equates to money savings for them operationally right away. Improving the communications with the partners. Partners are very important for Dropbox, and their happiness is very important, right? So one of the key things to make a partner happy is to have a good, smooth process when you're going through pre-sales, right? Especially when you're collaborating with Dropbox sales, you want to be able to make that an easy experience, right? And also, I'm going to touch on this a little bit later. Some of the things we're going to do is to enable on the marketing side to allow partners to really apply for marketing MDFs, marketing development funds, and to be able to have a process that will approve or reject that request, right? And have all of that automated in the portal as well. So just going by some numbers, which I am not allowed to share, their sales have gone up thanks to this portal, which is amazing. And they're able to really nurture and mentor and help their partners grow in a much more efficient way because they have all these insights into what the partners are doing. How many partners are registering deals and not really doing much after that, right? How many partners are registering deals but not registering them correctly, which is causing contention between the Dropbox sales and partner sales, right? All of these things, all these insights are extremely valuable to Dropbox, and this portal helped them get a lot of that information. Now, this slide is really just to this is my slide. This is not Dropbox's slide. And this is just kind of a lesson learned from us doing this kind of thing for all other companies as well. It's really about the benefits of private SaaS, right? When you think about public SaaS, and it's a shared environment, shared infrastructure, that's good for some people, but that's not good for everybody, right? It was not good enough for Dropbox, obviously, and companies like them, because you don't have the control and you don't have the ability to customize as much as you want, right? You have a limited space to customize within. But also, the security side is very important here. So different companies have different security constraints. And SaaS solutions typically, they address that by saying we are compliant. We're just compliant with all of these regulations. And if you fit within that, that's great. But what if I have my own unique security constraint, right? And Dropbox has a lot of that, actually. A SaaS solution will not work, but private SaaS works. So when we talk about private SaaS, what we're talking about here is just a perception, right? So it's not really SaaS. It's like an on-prem solution deployed in the cloud, but it is SaaS from Dropbox's perspective. And that's why the last bullet is key here, managed services. So that is the last piece of this equation where we are offering this solution. We built it, we deployed it on AWS, but we're also providing managed services, which means that if they want to make any changes to this portal, all they have to do is open a support ticket with us, and it gets taken care of. So that is, from their perspective, it's like SaaS. They don't have to do anything with it. They don't have to maintain it. IT doesn't have to worry about it. No burden on IT. And they get all of these advantages. So that's really what private SaaS is. So what you're looking at here is basically the footprint. So this is all AWS. So the main region is on the West Coast of the United States, and that has Liferay running in it. And then on the delivery side, basically they have, and this is not actually easy to do, but this is globally distributed through CloudFront, to all of the global partners. So that's kind of the pattern. And these little clouds that show CloudFront, there's really hundreds of these in reality. It's not just this many. But we couldn't, the person who created this slide would have hated me if I asked them to put hundreds of these things on here. So that's what it looks like. And on the integration side, it's really pretty straightforward. But again, thanks to Liferay DXP, we're able to easily integrate with pretty much anything. So on the single sign-on side, and I'm sorry, I can't tell you what single sign-on solution they're using or anything like that. But we are integrated with backend systems for all of these things, for single sign-on, for the support, tickets, for the deal management and the CRM. The user management is coming out of an external identity management solution. And the partner management, parts of that partner management is in other external applications that are sitting outside. So what's next for Dropbox? And I love looking at a roadmap that looks like this, because it doesn't have too many net new huge features that look scary, and they're going to take months and months to implement. Now we can really get into a DevOps model, right, where we can do continuous improvement, continuous deployment. We're just adding more and more features, more and more enhancements very quickly. Next thing we're going to look into, and this is a good example of telling a customer to wait. We told them to wait on the analytics because we know what's coming from Liferay on the analytics side. So we're actually planning on looking at Liferay's analytics engine for the partner portal to integrate with it. Finally, and this is actually the actual demo I had for you guys that I won't be able to show you, is the Dropbox plugin for Liferay. So one thing we did to showcase here, which I won't be able to, is a Dropbox plugin that we implemented that we're going to be publishing on the Liferay marketplace, and it's already integrated with Liferay 7.1, which is the latest and greatest version of Liferay that came out. So that is available, but not on the marketplace yet. So that is it. And with the 35 seconds to go, does anybody have any questions? When is it available? Soon. Very soon. Yeah, we're pretty much really almost done with it, and we release everything on the marketplace as free, open source for anybody to use. So yeah, it's hopefully this year it will be done. Any other questions? No. All right, thank you.